Alas, through the power of many sighs that are born of the thoughts in my heart, the eyes are conquered and have no virtue to gaze at anyone who looks at them. And they are now become two passions for weeping and revealing sorrow, and they grieve so much that love rings them with the crown of suffering. These thoughts and the sighs I sigh become so anguished in my heart that Amor lies near death with grieving look, since they have in this sadness of theirs that sweet name of my lady written, and many words about her death. So this is an encounter that obviously, even if it in real life, right, it never really took shape or was consummated, it has become this kind of artistic emblem for Dante, right, of the total conquering of being, right, and in some ways, I think the switch to poetry points us toward the inadequacy of pure philosophy for dealing with this alone. It's not that philosophy is not going to help us. It's not that Dante was not richly read in philosophy and capable of expressing very eloquently philosophical ideas. It's that the philosophy as in the kind of Aristotelian mode, or even the scholastic Thomistic mode of pure solid syllogism, pure argument, if this then that, is going to be inadequate here, and some kind of conversion, not just of the mind but of the heart, needs to happen, right? And so he sees Beatrice once when she is almost 9. He sees her again 9 years later, right? So you've got this repetition of 9, and it's almost like the revolution of a planet or something coming back to him again and again. And that's because, right, in its raw form, this force of love needs submission in and of itself, needs conquering, needs giving up, or at least transcending, right, in order to become the divine love, instead of descending into lust. So here's another kind of vision of Beatrice that I think kind of starts to get at this, right? This is chapter 26 of Vita Nuova. He says, "This most graceful lady, of whom I have spoken in preceding words, found so much favor among people that when she passed along the street, they ran to catch sight of her, which filled me with marvelous joy. And when she was near anyone, such purity filled his heart that he did not dare to raise his eyes or to respond to her greeting. And of this, having experienced it, many might give witness to those who did not credit it. She went crowned and clothed with humility, showing no arrogance because of what she saw or heard. Many, when she passed, said she is no woman, but one of the most beautiful of heaven's angels. And others said she is a marvel. How blessed is the Lord who can create such miracles." Now, this is a key, right, to how Beatrice herself in Paradise is going to lead Dante out of his error, and how Dante is going to transcend the kind of purely fleshy, purely human, materialist version of love that he thinks the kind of Sicilian poets, the Provençal poets, are in danger of getting mired in, stuck in, right? It's not that he's saying this form of poetry is like wholly evil, because he obviously draws a great deal from it, as well as from the classical antecedents, right? He's saying there's something missing here, and what's missing is there's a ceiling, right? That this kind of is a horizontal human kind of love. And what we need is to find the way in which, contained in that human love, incarnate even in that human love, is the distilled seed of something higher, right? Something other. And so when people point up from Beatrice and say, "Blessed is the Lord who can create such miracles," right? That's the key. That's the right motion. So already in Vita Nuova, we're starting to get this intuition, right? That there's something fearsome and terrifying in love. And it's, as it was in classical antiquity, a destroying fire, right? Unless it can be subdued somehow. But how can it be subdued? Not by the will, right? Not by the mind, because that's all totally conquered, right? We are trapped in this hermeneutic bubble this hermetic bubble, or also, I guess, a hermeneutic bubble of our own kind of personhood, unless there is some force outside of us that is also higher than the forces of nature to which we are subject, right? That can break us out of that. And this is what he begins to kind of uncover in Vita Nuova. He says, "So gentle and so pure appears my lady when she greets others, that every tongue trembles and is mute, and their eyes do not dare gaze at her." The frustration of language is important. We're going to get that a lot as we go here. "She goes by, aware of their praise, benignly dressed in humility, and seems as if she were a thing to come from heaven to earth to show a miracle. She shows herself so pleasing to those who gaze through the eyes. She sends a sweetness to the heart that no one can understand who does not know it. And from her lips there comes a sweet spirit full of love that goes saying to the soul, sigh." I mean, it's just like, even in translation, it beguiles, I think,